This way of thinking about intention and this way of interpreting discrimination is rooted in the ethical tradition that stems from Thomas Aquinas. Interpretation of discrimination by contemporary international lawyers, however, differs significantly, and it differs, in my view, because of its deficient ethical concepts. Last year, in November, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defence Minister Yoav Gallant. The ICC claimed reasonable grounds for believing them both guilty of the war crimes of intentionally and knowingly depriving the civilian population in Gaza of objects indispensable to their survival, creating conditions of life calculated to bring about their destruction. The grounds the ICC gave are these: Israel's failure to facilitate relief, quote, by all means at its disposal, and to ensure that the civilian population would be adequately supplied with goods in need, amounts to a violation of the fundamental rights to life and health. Now, there are two major ethical problems with this. One of them concerns the concept of a fundamental right, and I'll address that in next week's final lecture. The other problem attends the ICC's concept of intention. The judges think that when Israel conducts a military operation knowing that it will have the effect of depriving the civilian population of the necessary means of survival, they thereby calculate its destruction. To calculate an effect is surely to have it at the center of one's intending. The effect is not beside the point, it is the point. According to the ICC, therefore, a deliberate act that has a foreseeable effect must calculate or intend that effect. But I hope it's clear to you from what I've said already, I think that's quite wrong. We often do something in full awareness that it will have an undesirable consequence we don't want. But we do it anyway for the sake of a desirable consequence we do want. And if that desirable consequence is more important, or if we're under an overriding obligation to prefer it, then our causing the undesirable consequence is proportionate, provided we take all feasible steps to minimize it. That's the principle of double effect. The desirable consequence or effect is what we intend, the undesirable one we accept with active reluctance. Now, according to this logic, which characterizes the ethic of just war thinking, it's permissible to attack a military objective knowing it will risk civilian casualties, provided that risk is unavoidable and all feasible measures are taken to minimize it. One may intend the effect of disabling enemy combatants or reluctantly accepting injury to civilians as a tragic side effect. Yes, this is permissive, but that's because otherwise the successful waging of war, however just the cause, would be practically impossible.